What's crack-a-lack? It's your boy Broshmo, just in case you did not know. So we're here to talk the corner position. We're talking the top corner prospects in the 2020 NFL draft. Keep in mind, I'm doing this Thursday. Yeah, today's Thursday. So no, it's Wednesday. Today's Wednesday. I'm stupid. But keep in mind, some of the guys may have decided they're gonna return for their senior year. So some of the guys on this might not even be in this draft. So be easy on me if some of the guys return. It's updated from now. So there is that. But we're going to be talking 40 different prospects in this. Because on average in the last 5 years, 32 corners have been picked in the draft. So we're going 40. So it's a stacked class. But before we get into that, go ahead and become a bro and subscribe and leave a thumbs up if you enjoy the content. Helps the video get discovered, helps me get discovered, allows me to make more content for you guys. And speaking of content, we're doing a top free agents for the NFL in the 2020 free agency. We're doing that. That's going to be fun. That should be out this weekend, so be on the look for that. We got another mock draft not coming this week, but it's going to be after the conference championship. So, right, it's going to come then. We'll know the draft order for 30 of the teams. So, be on the look for that. It's a couple weeks. And then next week, I'm working on this tonight, is the draft class grades for the 2019 draft. See how what I gave them after the draft and see how poor I did. But let's go ahead. Let's dive in. Like I said, we're talking 40, but let's talk about a few of the ones that didn't make the list. We got DeMarcus Acey, Harrison Hand, and James Pierre. These are a few guys that actually Pierre and Hand, they're declared early, but I don't see them as, I don't want to say they're not anything special. They're just kind of guys in this draft. It's a very good class. I just see them as undrafted free agents at this point. Mandy Patterson, a guy that can make a name for himself out of Maine. He's got a high IQ, lead athleticism, but only has one career interception. So I don't know about the playmaking skill there. And this one hurts my heart. Trajan Bandy out of Miami. He's just very small. He doesn't like to tackle. When you're that small, you're probably going to be kicked into slot. And if you don't like to tackle, if you don't got good lateral movement, you're going to struggle in the slot. So I don't know if there's a place for him in the NFL, and that hurts my heart because I'm all about the U. Wish I could have put a guy from the U on this list, but I didn't. Well, okay, let's start. We got 40. We got Josiah Scott out of Michigan State. A lot of guys, so I'm going to kind of rail through this. Very good production. But again, another small guy. You're going to see smaller guys kind of be lower on this board here. But like I said, for me, he's probably going to get bodied by NFL receivers at the next level. So it's a little disencouraging. It's probably an undrafted free agent. John Reed out of Penn State. He started the year hot, kind of cooled off, kind of a slot guy only. Also, if you can't play the outside, you're probably going to fall on my list. You are going to fall on my list. You fell. So got him there at 39. At 38, a guy that I was very hot on at the beginning of the year. He was in my top 10. Kendall Vildor out of Georgia Southern. He looked better, like I said, he looked better in 2018, especially against Power 5 schools. He had a banger of a game against Clemson in 2018. Couldn't replicate that. Got destroyed in that LSU game and in that Minnesota game. So yeah, sorry, my dude. It really hurt his stock coming back. A guy that I'm looking forward to with the offseason process is Isaiah Swan out of Dartmouth. I think I said school right. Whatever. He's 6 foot and he's been a shutdown corner in the Ivy League. The Ivy League. So I'm very intrigued. I want to see more of him in this offseason process. Javelin Guidry out of Utah. Another smaller guy. He's a much better man corner than zone corner, which is kind of wild because he played like a majority of his snaps came in the slot. But he's a great tackler. He's got that going for him. You got to be a great tackler to be in the slot. So he could be a 7th round pick. Jace Wit Taker from Arizona had a so-so season. Didn't start off great against Hawaii, but he should really test well if he goes to the combine. Then we got Levanta Taylor out of Florida State. This is a guy I was high on earlier in the year. He converted from corner to safety, but he did that because he was probably going to be a slot guy in the NFL. And I mean, he did that. He converted to safety because he's a smaller guy. Again, the size. So I got him here probably in that 6th to 7th round. Prince Robertson out of Tarleton State. I don't know. I've never heard of this college before, but it's out of Texas. But he's very interesting because he is a playmaker. Let me tell you, he's got great playmaking skills, both in the return game, and he has a few pick sixes to his name. A guy that will be also very interesting to watch during the offseason process. Asang Bassi out of Wake Forest. He's kind of in the same boat as Levanta Taylor. And then rounding out this list at 31, Dane Jackson out of Pittsburgh. He's an outside corner. He's got outside corner size for the most part, but he kind of has the traits of a lifetime special teamer, if you know what I'm saying. So he's got the size. Don't know if he has the ability to play on the outside, but he should be a good special teamer. That'll get you drafted. On to 30 through 21. We're talking Rashad Robinson out of James Madison. This gets me excited because I'm originally from Virginia. So whenever I see these smaller Virginia schools, I get very intrigued. Now, the guy was hurt in 2018. Why is that key? Because a prospect I liked a lot in the 2019 draft, Jimmy Moreland, he came out of James Madison. He popped off. I knew he was gonna be a really, for me, I thought he was gonna be a really good slot guy, very physical. And you know what? He was a 7th round pick. I think Robinson could be the same. And he's right now, season's over, but he ended up ending the season as the starting slot corner for the Washington Redskins. So I like this. Moreland had his breakout year. And I kind of feel the same way about Robinson. I think this guy, I think he definitely can get drafted. Thomas Graham Jr. out of Oregon. I think he's going to be a safety when it's all said and done. He's very physical, especially during the route. He likes knocking receivers off their routes. But for those longer routes, those posts, those verts, he doesn't do well downfield. I guess with elongated routes, longer routes. So I wouldn't question if they decided to move him to safety. I think this is a prime Seattle Seahawk type of guy. So yeah, we got that there. Miles Bryant, a guy I was higher on at the beginning of the year. Thought he could be a 4th rounder, 5th rounder. Probably now more late day 3. Another guy, he's going to be a slot only. He was another guy that went from corner to safety, just like Bassi and Taylor. So probably a slot only. Meek Robertson out of Louisiana Tech. This guy's awesome. He is he's small, 5'8", 183 pounds, but he's very physical, especially at the line of scrimmage. Talk about a guy that reminds me of Jimmy Moreland. Bam, Robertson right here. I think he's ideally a slot at the next level. That's what he's going to be. He declared early because I don't think he really can get, with his size, I don't think he can get your draft stock any higher, you know? So I don't mind him coming out early. Elijah Riley out of Army, limited from a speed standpoint. But Army, they played a lot of zone. Didn't have to really rely too much on his speed. I think he probably better as a slot guy in the NFL because there you could really utilize his ability to blitz and to be a playmaker in run defense or as a run defender. I think he's got a very good skill set there. So I like him out of Army. Kerry Vincent Jr. out of LSU. The guy's a speedster. He's a track star, of course, but he primarily played in the slot. He could make a move to safety. He kind of played. That's his position, safety for LSU, but they played him a lot in the slot. So he could also be another guy that makes a move to safety. Then we got Michael Ojou. I think I got that right. Pretty sure I did. Out of Iowa. I looked up some of these names that are pretty hard to pronounce. So hopefully I got it right. No disrespect. Sorry if I didn't. 6'1", 200 pounds. The dude looked comfortable in both zone and man, and he's been fairly consistent for Iowa. As far as the athleticism, I don't think it's eye-popping to really get him in the day 2 discussion, but I really like him here in the day 3 area. Reggie Robinson, the second out of Tulsa, the Golden Hurricane himself, man. He was the American Conference's leader in, pass breakups. He'll be at the Senior Bowl. We'll get a better in-depth look at him. He's going to be matching up against some of the literally great receivers there at the Senior Bowl. Senior Bowl is going to be really fun and really interesting, especially it's going to be very telling for these corners. A lot of these corners could improve their draft stock immensely just by going to the Senior Bowl. I think Robinson has a shot at that. 22. This one hurts my feelings a little bit. Laverne Hill, out of Michigan. I was pretty high early in the year on Laverne Hill. I knew the guy had some questions with his, not questions, but we know size was an issue with him. He's a small press man corner, but the guy's a competitor. The guy's been a competitor all year. He does have some ugly games on tape where he got beat by some of these guys who are in the draft. You could, especially that bowl game against Alabama, got pretty ugly for him. But again, I like him. He's a competitor. Laverne Hill, man, mid day 3 pick, not bad option. Even early day 3 pick, I wouldn't mind. Stanford Samuels the third. I'm kind of curious. Out of Florida State, this guy, it was surprised why he declared. I mean, it could be the coaching change going on there, but still, it was a surprise that he would declare. He's, I believe, a redshirt sophomore, but he's raw. That's the thing about him. He's extremely raw with technique, his footwork, everything. But he was a tremendous playmaker there at Florida State. He's got good height. Still needs to fill out his frame. I think he's like 6'2", but he's like only 180, 185. So you got a good body. You got a good body of work there for him. Like, as far as you can fill him out. So it's, again, he's developmental, but again, as he gets older, fills out that frame, you could have a starting corner in the NFL on your hands. And then we're going to 20 through 11, and we got Noah Igbinoghene. I'm pretty sure I got that right. I looked it up. I have a breakdown right here on how to say it. Hopefully I did it right. Another guy that was a kind of a surprise, a guy that I was surprised he foregoed his senior year. Surprised he came out early, but the difference between him and Samuels is, I think next in the 2021 draft, this guy could be a day 2, should have been a day 2 pick. He came out next year. Senior Bowl would have helped him out immensely. I think he's got all the physical tools that you want to see. At the combine, honestly, he will pop off. But the thing is, I think he could be highly penalized. And this is kind of like I call it the Georgia rule when it comes to cornerbacks. Because Georgia, and you saw it with Deandre Baker, Georgia cornerbacks, they're very physical. And sometimes, especially in college, you don't get flagged for some of the things you do to receivers. You get flagged in the NFL, let me tell you. Deandre Baker, he suffered from that. He got much better at the end of the year, but still, it was a rough year for Baker. And I think Noah here, he could have kind of the same learning curve. But like I said, the physical tools are there. This guy, he's quick enough to stick with faster receivers. There's a lot to like about him. TJ Carter out of Memphis, another guy. He had a strong year. Penalties, though, like I said, Georgia rule. Penalties might be a problem for him, but his athleticism is very intriguing. But if you want to be discouraged, that bowl game against Penn State wasn't his best game. So if you really want to be turned off by this guy, check out that Penn State bowl game. AJ Green out of Oklahoma State, great size, or good size, 6'1". He'll be at the Senior Bowl, and guess what? This guy, if he pops off, he could leap into that top 10 discussion. He could he could get his name in that day 2 area. The off-season process will be very important for AJ Green. I'm very excited. Jaheim Carter, man, a guy I was very high on at Alabama at the beginning of the year because I loved his versatility. He was playing that star role they have at Alabama. Basically, you're kind of like just that floating defender whether it's in the box, in center field, in the slot. He kind of did that, but his size is a big deterrent. I think he's probably a slot only, but he's versatile enough to play on the back end. So I got him here. He's kind of an enigma. It's really hard to kind of figure out where he fits in this rankings, because I think his playmaking ability, I think, is higher than a few of the guys I have ahead of him. But again, the size, it's going to be interesting to see where he goes. Troy Pride Jr. out of Notre Dame, ridiculous speed, but I think he's better as an off-ball zone corner. And then we got Darnay Holmes himself, the guy that, what, are you going to transfer? Oh, that was a lie? Dad came out and said, heck no, the boy ain't transferring. I was excited. I thought he might. He's got great athleticism and he's got off-the-charts speed, but he's super inconsistent. I mean, he's been that way throughout his whole career. He's could be a good man corner in the NFL, and that's why I was excited. I was excited because when I heard that he may transfer, I was like, oh man, he could go to like Ohio State or somewhere that plays like a lot of man. So I was super excited. Didn't happen, didn't come to fruition, but is what it is. Then at 14, we got Lukman Barku out of San Diego State, former high school receiver. That'll become important. Now he has great height, good length. He's very good at creating turnovers there. And that, like I said, being a converted receiver, you're probably going to be, especially with his size, you're probably going to be good at the contested catch. As a corner, ooh, man, boy got hands. So that's why I have him up this list. He's a good run defender. He could add a little weight to his frame, but there's a lot to like about him. I think this is really good. I think teams are going to sleep on him. Think about a third round pick on this guy. And then Lamar Jackson from Nebraska, not the one you're thinking of. 6'3", 215. I mean, God, teams are going to want to move this guy to safety. I say don't do it. Long, physical corner. And I say don't do it because Jameel Dean from Auburn last season, he came in, blew up the combine. Look at what he's doing. Since week 10, the guy has the most pass breakups in the NFL for Tampa Bay. If Lamar Jackson from Nebraska blows up the combine, I think we could see him in the second round. I definitely do. Then we got Damon Arnett out of Ohio State. I don't know why I said it like that. He pays big dividends for Shaun Wade deciding to stay, and I think that's a good decision by Shaun Wade, because if they end up playing him more on the outside, he could definitely find himself in the first round. But Arnett here, he won't be a turnover machine because he's a very good press man corner and he has got good athleticism. But when you're a press man corner, when you're in their face, you're gonna be playing the man and not the quarterback, so you won't get your head around. Typically, in theory, you won't have enough time to turn around and actually make a play on the ball. You're too busy playing your man. So I don't expect him to be a big turnover guy, but he's up here because I love me some press man corners. Diamador Lenoir out of Oregon, good size on this guy, very competitive at the catch point, kind of what I talked about with Barku. And this guy, he's been a guy that's been on he's been in my like top 10, top 15 type of area quite a while now. So no surprise. Let's go ahead. Let's talk about this top 10 because it's a lot of names you probably already know. Like I said, this is a stacked class. All these guys should be at least first to second rounders. And let's start with Paulson Adamo out of Stanford, a guy that's kind of been up and down on my list. Very intelligent corner. He especially when he plays press, he plays soft, and he does that because I believe a lack of athleticism, a lack of quickness, speed compared to other corners, and we saw that in two big games here. We saw that against Gabriel Davis out of Central Florida, where one-on-one, man, Paul Adamo just had a bad game. And then against USC, against that trio of corners, you could tell. Now, I think with him, a lot of people are high on him. You see this guy's name in the first round. I don't think so. I wouldn't do it because a lot of his great games are against lesser competition. And good, your great games should be against lesser competition. But when you're against competition that's on par or better, and you don't really show out, that's a red flag to me. That worries me. So I have him second rounder. Not bad. I think he'd be better in a zone scheme than actually playing man, because the guy, like I said, he's very intelligent. Cameron Dantzler out of Mississippi State. Great size, 6'2", 185. Super skinny though. He's got great reach, being that height. I could only imagine I'm like 5'8", 5'9". I got short little dinosaur arms, but needs to add weight because I don't think he has the strength to play man-to-man. What I liked seeing him from this year, outside, I'll get to that in a minute, but was he's great. His ability to read the quarterback. And that's why I said he should be a zone corner, be able to look at the quarterback. When he did play man-to-man this year, he had a few of his not best games. Just take a look at him playing against Ja'Marr Chase, which granted, Ja'Marr Chase is a monster from LSU, but still didn't look that great. Doesn't make plays on the ball, but I think that's because he played a majority man coverage rather than zone. So I think that's why I say I think he'll be better in a zone game, zone dominant scheme. But the guy's played very well in the SEC for the past 3 seasons. I think that says something. Quality corner there. AJ Terrell out of Clemson. Tremendous versatility, but kind of a question mark because his production kind of dipped off from last year. But he's physical, and like I said, when I said versatility, the guy he plays safety as well. So I like that. Jeff Gladney, I think, is going to be a guy that kind of moves up my list. The guy's a burner. Great length. Super athletic. He can work in any scheme. Sign me up. And then we got Jaylen Johnson out of Utah, a guy that I want to move up more on my list. But I said at the beginning of the year, he's kind of a boomer bust type of prospect, a risk versus reward, where it's either, oh man, pick 6 or got torched for like 50 yards. Crap. Kind of looking back, it's more calculated. Like his risk taken is calculated. He's like, oh man, this is like, he doesn't, if he does get burned, if he does get beat, it's simply because he was outplayed. Like, he took a risk, it didn't pay off. He was outplayed by the other player. I like that. I don't mind that. That tells me it's kind of Marcus Peters-esque, So I think he's ideal for a zone, cover 3 maybe, because he gets a little too handsy. Don't want to fall into that Georgia corner problem, Trayvon Diggs. There's going to be a lot of question marks with these next 3 as far as my order, because remember my rankings doesn't dictate where I think they may go drafted, because you're going to see Bryce Hall. He's my number 3. I think he's probably going to fall into the second round. I don't think that's going to happen with CJ Henderson or Trayvon Diggs. I just simply think long-term, Bryce Hall might be the better player. It just is what it is. Anyway, Trayvon Diggs, great size, 6'2", 207. Just like his cousin, he's a great athlete. He has good technique, good awareness. Played a little bit of zone, so he could be a zone. Even with that size, could be a good zone cover 3 type of corner. Tackling was spotty. I know a lot of y'all probably hate on him because that LSU game, where he was getting beat. Clyde Edwards-Helaire was just like, get off me, boy. Basically beast mode him on his way for a touchdown. But I mean, that was one game. For the most part, he was very consistent throughout the year. CJ Henderson, Florida. The dude's a competitor. I love me a competitor. I think he's a better off-ball man defender, which means just basically you're not in the guy's face. Kind of a rough year for him because he was shut down. He only allowed, I think, a single touchdown in 2018. This year, he allowed 5 plays of 40+. Kind of scary. Needs to fill out his frame a little bit, but like I said, he's going to test off the charts at the combine. It's going to be like for him and Trayvon Diggs are kind of like vying for that third corner. That'll probably go off the board. And my third corner, Bryce Hall out of Virginia. He would have been the top corner in the 2019 draft if he came out. He didn't. But I don't think it changed. His play didn't drop off a ton. I mean, he played out of his mind last year, it wasn't far behind that this year. I think he's ideal for a cover 3 scheme, 6'1", 200, very intelligent. Better off-man corner because kind of stiff in the hips, can't really turn it. That's why I kind of like him better in a cover 3. People are going to ask about the ankle injury that ended his season. I think he'll be fine. Christian Fulton out of LSU. He's kind of like the consensus number 2 corner in this draft. Very smooth athlete, press man corner. The only kind of asterisk on his credentials is that Texas game where he was kind of beat here and there. But keep in mind, the guy first quarter hurt his ankle, playing on a bum ankle, and guess what? He still shut down Colin Johnson for the most part. It was Duvernay that was really giving him the work. Jeffrey Okuda. I'm gonna just put. There we go. There's his name. I don't know why, man. I got problems with names. What can I say? He was lightning quick. He's the consensus number 1. This guy's a special talent. Great press man corner. It was Draft Network that actually made this comp to Jalen Ramsey. I love it. I agree with it. My one gripe coming into the year was, okay, great athlete, former 5-star recruit. Needs to be a better playmaker. Well, he checked that box this year. Better playmaker. He's a top 5 talent. But that's it for the video. Go ahead, do the YouTube thing. Much appreciate, much obliged. And don't forget, in the community tab, vote for who you think or what position group we should do next. But until next time, you be easy, my friends. Later.